What's up, YouTube family? We back today with another video, and today we are reacting to the Family TV again. I love reacting to the videos. He do a lot of research on his videos, and today is about killing for loyalty, the rise and fall of the deadliest crew or the most dangerous crew in the A. So, with that being said, let's get to the video.
Nobody wins when the family feels.
Yeah. Nigga, stop playing with us, man.
He said that shit like that.
This shit for real, man. Don't do it. Oh! All of my niggas together, we came from the bottom, we used to weigh each other. None of my niggas gon' fold.
Hold on, family. I gotta
Don't do it.
Did he jump off? Oh, he jumped off.
All of my niggas together, we came from the bottom, we used to weigh each other. None of my niggas gon' fold. Couple big bro coming home free Nate. He indicted.
Look at this video. Police say this man is a person of interest in the case. On September 27th, two people with bullet wounds showed up at Grady. While officers have not revealed many details about the investigation, they say the two people were hit in a shootout near Baker Street Northwest and William Street Northwest.
People play gangsta and police games at the same time. That shit is weird. That shit is weird.
To get an attorney kicked off a murder case. They say she warned a murder suspect, who she was not representing, to hide evidence.
Lling disputes that.
She actually did have an attorney-client privilege relationship.
He didn't say how. Fagan is representing Davis's co-defendant, Quincy Pinky. Pinky, Davis, and two others are charged in the murder of Jaquavius Wilson last year. Prosecutors want her off the case.
Tonight, if you get in trouble with the law, serious stuff like violence, it'd be a good idea to obey traffic rules.
You just kept rolling on through and made the right turn.
I was on the phone in my mouth.
All right. So you got a driving license?
No, sir.
I'm going to get your first and last name.
You gotta say William Davis.
You got a picture of it?
I'm going through my phone looking for it. I live right there. I was coming from my mama's house.
Growing up in the inner city, it's common to experience conflict in your own neighborhood. That often comes from the older generation not agreeing with the younger generation. And if your neighborhood a decent size,
Yeah, y'all, these days, it's like, back when I was young, we listened to the older, people, the OGs and shit. Nowadays, the youngest don't even listen to the OGs. They don't even hold no weight to the young people no more. So it's like, ain't nobody here to tell them nothing. It's somebody here to tell them, but they just ain't taking the information.
that could lead some tension within your own neighborhood. But more or less, you often develop relationships with people you hang out with every day, often tighter than those with people you don't know well. In this story, you see a little bit of both dynamics, but this narrative also demonstrates how one can become a product of their environment if they don't make a change, and sometimes those influences come from inside your home. Today we talk about a man from Atlanta, Georgia, who's from the same area as a household name rapper, Lil Baby, and also once affiliated with him, who recently received a 40-year prison sentence for his alleged involvement in street criminal gang activity and 2 murders. But the same man we talking about, who received 40 years.
Now all that gang banging, big thugging in the street, playing outside in the street. Do that sound like something y'all want to do? 40, you want to do a 40 ball? You know what I'm saying? No, not me. I'm cool on big thugging and all that. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather, talk to y'all on the internet in my own home. You feel me? I ain't big thugging. I'm cool. You feel me? I'm cool on a 40 ball. On anything, on any prison sentence. Ain't nothing like being alive, ain't nothing like being free.
In prison, his mom received a 20-year sentence in prison and was only home for 2.5 years before her son went in for 40. Repeated cycles and generational curses, and sometimes breaking them is not as easy as one might think. Some say this man we talking about is the reason why Finlucci had got a RICO with the alleged gang he was running with. Now the man we talking about was allegedly the man returning fire in his own neighborhood, according to authorities. But he wasn't charged. He was charged with 2 other shootings that led to murders, and another shooting that injured 3 in a nightclub protecting Lil Baby. Nathan Benford, aka 4PF Nate, who happens
Hey, but see, he was shooting trying to protect the bag. Baby was the bag. You feel me? And it sounded like he was, yeah, in the club with Baby. Some popped off, and he protecting the bag at all costs. So hey, he felt like he had to do what he had to do because he putting food on my plate. So I ain't gonna, let him get harmed, let him in harm's way. I'm about to blick something down. You feel me? But yeah, that ain't cool though. 40 ball though for this.
To be from the same neighborhood as the Atlanta rap star Lil Baby. They from a neighborhood called Lil Cali, known as the West End in Atlanta, Georgia, located in the Oakland City neighborhood. And the reason people are putting two and two with YFN Lucci is because he was indicted primarily because of the murder of his friend, being killed after they did a drive-by in Atlanta, Georgia, after having returned fire on him. He was shot in the head. Moments later, he was dumped out of a vehicle, which now we know was YFN Lucci white Maybach, after they showed it in evidence during his trial before accepting a plea.
Atlanta 911 operator 2679, what's the address of your emergency?
We need an ambulance. Somebody is laying out. Somebody, I don't know if he barely.
Let me connect you. Stay on the line.
Somebody just threw him out of the car.
Let me connect you to the ambulance.
Huh?
So YFN Lucci still locked up for that. I don't know why. I was talking to somebody the other day and I thought he was out, but he's still down. Thug out, Lucci down still, and it was for this incident because he had threw his people out the car while he was driving. And why would you take your own Maybach on a drill? Man, and y'all niggas is rich. Supposedly supposed to be doing this because I don't believe everything I see. I believe half of what I see and none of what I hear. So it might not even been his Maybach for real, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, that's crazy. Even if you rented it, why would you even take it on a drill? Because they could track it back to you, goofy man.
He's still trying to fight for his life.
EMS, what's the address of the emergency?
Baby, can y'all please get an ambulance here? This man is dying. He's shot in the head.
Look.
He just took his last breath, man.
What street are you on, ma'am?
Look, they cracked the door.
Give him your location,
and they
please,
get
for the ambulance to give the guy
the blowing
help.
out of there.
What is his address?
Because they shooting back. That's why he
Man, this man just took his last breath, man.
Man, we have help on the way already.
I wonder which one of them man got hit.
We don't know. Me and my sister, we were just walking down the street, and somebody just rolled down the street with a man hanging out the car. They just pushed him out the truck and left him for dead.
Oh, my God.
Ma'am, I thought you said he was shot in the head.
Yes, he is shot in the head.
He down probably already because you see they was ducking.
He just took his last breath.
We have the ambulance already on the way, okay?
Okay.
And could you tell me what kind of vehicle?
You're going to get fire and PD and right on
Can you tell me what kind of vehicle he was stolen from, please?
White.
A white car, truck, or SUV?
SUV.
What direction did the SUV
Yes,
go?
his whole body was just hanging out the car.
Listen, just stay on the phone.
It had to be dude that hopped out and was sitting on the seat while it was moving, blowing. He got hit, and he got hit in the head, though. They hit him in the head from a little bit away, though. That's crazy. That's crazy work. And then they threw him out. They ain't even supposed to be their partner. They ain't even take him to the hospital, though. They just like, get out of here. You're done.
If you saw any of the people that were driving the car, whether they adults or kids, or
they were driving real fast. We seen his.
All right.
On Peoples Street, a man found shot in the street later died at the hospital.
Now, as mentioned, the man who was allegedly responsible for the return fire was never charged. Instead, he received a 40-year sentence on unrelated charges, including 2 murders.
So,
this is why the public never found out who was responsible for a moment that was...
It was the young dude that they showed that grew up with Baby was the return shooter. He was returning the bullets. You know what I'm saying? So he ain't get charged for that. Was a free kill. but he ended up going down for 40 years on another charge. Like, come on, bro. You got that one off. Why you keep playing with fire like that?
Was cemented in hip-hop culture. Today we talk about who this man is, his upbringing in Georgia, his alleged gang involvement, his childhood friends that turned into his crew, his run-ins with the law, his recent indictment in full details, right down to the informant. But before we go over this one, I want you guys to remember, I don't give you no angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna jump right to it. Born in July of 1991, now 33 years old, Nathan Benford, also known as 4PF Nate. The Atlanta native grew up playing football at multiple schools, received a scholarship to play at Troy University in Alabama. That was in
all this talent, man. You got scholarship, and then you throw it away on some street, man. Because it's so crazy the way that these kids think now. They think that that's the cool shit. They don't think that the real cool is cool no more. You know what I'm saying? They think that the wrong shit is cool. And that's just what they did. You know, the people in power flipped it. Like, this is the cool stuff right here. You know what I'm saying? You doing bad and doing good is not cool. So, yeah, they changed the whole narrative of cool.
In the year 2010, but 4PF Nate upbringing wasn't all peaches and cream. He was one of 7 siblings. He had to navigate life without financial support and much love from a distance. His mother served 17 years of her 20-year sentence for moving narcotics. She was released in 2020. Her name was Karen Davis. The married mother of 7 was sentenced on July 22, 2003. 4PF Nate was only 12 years old at the time. Here are some pictures with him, his mom, and his siblings. 4PF Nate mom was charged with conspiracy to distribute and possess with intent to distribute.
Mama was out there big thugging though. Mama did 12 big thugging, but you know, probably a single mom doing what she got to do to take care of her kids. No judgment here. She did her time, served her time to society. She back out. Unfortunately, only spent 2.5 years with her son from what he's saying. So he went and got 40.
50 grams or more of C. Use of a telephone to facilitate commission of conspiracy to distribute C and Mary Jane. And it was hard on her, because her priors, she had possession of M, simple assault, and selling and delivering C. But 4PF Nate mom's story was similar to his. She was exposed to the drug dealing business at her early teens by her uncle, according to her. And by the time she was in her early 20s, she was further in the business with her husband. She said she would sometimes transport the drugs to complete their deals, but she wasn't happy about their way of living. By the time she was 25 years old, her husband was sent to prison for 3 years, and according to her, left her at home with 5 boys to support. She said she eventually started back with family to make money to support her kids and make ends meet. She said at the end of the day, her uncle was the first person to call her to take a plea, asking me to admit to things I knew were lies, end quote. She said she wasn't informed enough to know to take a plea, and it was withdrawn. She went to a speedy trial and was portrayed as a leader, which is far from accurate, according to her. She said she received enhancements for priors and eventually sentenced to 20 years in prison. As mentioned, she only did 17 and was released in 2020. But by the time she was released, she had a son, according to his recent indictment, was known in the streets for doing the same thing as her, moving work. Also known as 4PF Nate, the guy who's affiliated with one of the biggest rappers coming out of Atlanta, Lil Baby. But 2 years before Nathan Benford, aka 4PF Nate mom, would come home, he was 28 years old, and he would get arrested in March of 2018 by Athens Clark County Police on charges of aggravated assault, possession of a firearm, and the commission of a crime in connection with the shooting that occurred October 1st, 2017 in Club Vietnam on Commerce Road, in which 3 people were injured, one seriously. A man was shot once in the chest. Another man's shoulder was grazed by a bullet during the shoot. According to the police, they said a 3rd man was injured when he fell and was stumped. But at that time, police ain't say whether 4PF Nate, who was a resident of Decatur, had fired a gun in the incident. He was subsequently released on a $7,350 security bond. He was only charged with reckless conduct for endangering others. So for lack of better terms, he managed to escape. But this wasn't 4PF Nate first run-in with the law in 2018. Now the reason 4PF Nate didn't pursue his football career, because he couldn't. His scholarship was stripped when he was arrested in December 16th, 2009. Apparently,
it was took, but it was taken on account of some shit he was doing criminally. So he really could have just, did the scholarship thing, but he was still doing criminal activities, which made him strip his scholarship. That's crazy, boy. So many little young guys want a chance like that, and you threw it away, G.
apparently he robbed the church's chicken with the defendant who would later play key to his newest indictment, Cavario Major, and another individual. 4PF Nate pointed a gun at the restaurant customers, telling them to don't move, while his co-conspirators emptied the cash register and safe. Cavario acted as the getaway driver. All three was arrested after a traffic stop. 4PF Nate later pleaded guilty to robbery and received the first offender sentence with 5 years of imprisonment. He was arrested shortly after he was released on July 24, 2014. 4PF Nate was pulled over in Gordon County in his rental vehicle with a female passenger. After getting a traffic stop, it revealed 60 grams of Mary Jane in the center console. He accepted full responsibility. 4PF Nate had pled guilty and received a conditioned discharge sentence. But then he got arrested 2 years later. On December 30th, 2016, officers attempt another traffic stop on a vehicle driven by Hampton, displaying stolen temporary tags. After refusing to stop and later losing control of the vehicle, defendant Hampton fled on foot along with 2 other passengers. Further investigation confirmed the vehicle had been stolen from a car dealership. The state did not proffer or tender the final deposition of the arrest as part of the record, and the defendant Hampton is identified as Jamel Keith Hampton, who's also another co-defendant in 4PF's Nate new indictment. Now it's also to be noted, as a juvenile, he was convicted of robbing someone as well. 3 people was in a car. After smoking, they just robbed him and pointed a firearm and made him drive to an undisclosed location. But 4PF Nate's last arrest would be his final arrest. 2023, he was arrested with 3 other co-defendants. All 3 had prior history with getting arrested with 4PF Nate since 2008 that we just mentioned. But this time his mom been home for a little more than 2 years. But for the very first time, 4PF Nate would be hit with murder. Not once, but twice, not to mention gang activity. And one of the murders was allegedly get back for the demise of his best friend. His best friend was identified as a man named Cavario Major, aka 4PF Mackie, a inspiring rapper who was seen with Lil Baby on a number of occasions. And even Lil Baby had posted being at his funeral service.
I reached last street, man, can't forget, man. You know what I'm saying? On that 1271 shit, man. On that last shit, man. Long live low.
You like easy? Uh-oh.
Make sure you don't beat that in.
On November 1st, 2021, Cavario, aka 4PF Mackie, had lost his life in his neighborhood to a man named Daryl Hurd. Apparently it was self-defense, so Daryl was never charged, but instead it was retaliation against him from 4PF.
It has been a deadly night across Atlanta.
So the dude that was in the courtroom is the one who killed Mackie, but he wasn't charged because it was self-defense. Damn.
As police are investigating 3 separate shootings, the latest happening on Fulton Street. This is between downtown and the West End. Someone shot and killed a person around 8 o'clock tonight. An hour before that, police officers dispatched to Newtown Circle for a call of a shooting there. This is also being investigated as a homicide. And about an hour before that, around 7 o'clock on White Oak Avenue Southeast, this appears to have been a shooting, a fight that started between 2 men. Police say the suspect pulled a gun out and shot the victim. Right now, police don't have a suspect.
But shortly after Cavario had lost his life and retaliation was committed, May 16, 2023, the state of Georgia had an indictment for 4 alleged members of 4PF. Nathan Benford, aka 4PF Nate, Keontae Davis, Keith Jamel Hampton, Quincy Rashid Pinky. Now all four was arrested during different times, and one of them gave authorities information out the gate. The only person who had a bond, and the person who cooperated, was Keontae Davis. This was his first time getting in trouble with the law, September 27, 2022. Where a witness saw Javarius Wilson, the victim who was shot and killed, as he rode in the SUV downtown Atlanta, and another passenger in the SUV was shot but survived. The witness saw the suspect vehicle open fire on Wilson's vehicle. He called 911 immediately upon seeing the crime and spoke to lead detective investigating the murder. The witness described the shooter in the case, and his statement to law enforcement helped solve the case, as well as the cooperation of Keontae Davis. This incident was caught on camera, and according to Keontae, 4PF Nate was also in that vehicle that belonged to the suspects. It was a drug deal gone bad.
Tonight, this man that you see on your screen is now in custody in connection to a murder from last fall. Keontae Davis is accused of shooting two people on September 27th. The two victims were dropped off at Grady Hospital. One survived, the other did not. Davis is now charged with aggravated assault and murder.
And even though Keontae Davis was talking to prosecutors, he was apprehended by mistake, or at least for his warrant for his indictment. He was arrested on a traffic violation, driving his mother's vehicle.
Double line checking on you on Marietta Boulevard.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Officer Lling, City of Atlanta Police Department. The reason I pulled you over is because right there at the light at Piedmont and Peachtree, is stop means stop. That means all wheels got to stop. You didn't stop. You just kept rolling on through and made the right turn.
I was on the phone running my mouth.
All right. So you got a driving license?
No, sir.
I'm here to get your first and last name.
Keontae William Davis.
You got a picture of it?
I'm going through my phone looking for it. I live right there. I was coming from my mama's house. Something happened over there. Here we go. Yeah, I was on the phone running my mouth. I'm sorry.
Zoom into the picture. I can see the numbers.
Yes, sir.
Got to zoom.
05.
I'm good.
89 70949. I just left from the gas station right there. I was on the airport running my mouth.
All right.
I live right there at the site. All right. Okay.
White Prius, 3141, T-mark one time.
All right. So maybe cut the car off for me. All right. So you know you got a warrant, right?
No, sir.
All right. You got a warrant out of the city of Atlanta, okay, for aggravated assault. So I got to put you in a car. I'm gonna detain you, okay? Detain means just only holding you until time being, okay? You ain't in custody yet, all right? Until they confirm the warrant, all right? Step out of the car.
Resident 1201 and 1207.
My phone.
Put the phone in the seat.
To know you did a crime, he knew he had that warrant. To know you didn't do the crime and then breaking routine traffic laws is insane. That's diabolical. But again, people just be people, and I can't go ahead, man. This is crazy.
Number one.
Trouble one can disregard.
You go by any other names? You didn't know you had a warrant out?
Trouble 6207 copy. An honorable alarm at 600 Peachtree Battle Avenue.
Yes, sir.
Northwest.
You got any weapons or anything on you?
600 Peachtree Battle Avenue.
Hey, though, to never have been arrested and your first charges ever is assault and murder, crazy work, G. You went all in your first time, G.
Come on, son.
Now, while all this going down and people getting arrested for this indictment, a lawyer for one of the defendants, named Fegan Law, was representing Quincy Rashad Pinky. Now, she also was an attorney for a co-defendant in the YSL trial as well.
Fegan, she is a very fine attorney. Seen her work. Miss Fegan.
For those who don't remember, she got arrested during that trial after the informant Keontae, who was in 4PF Nate indictment, had told prosecutors that attorney, who was also representing Pinky in the 4PF Nate indictment, had contacted Keontae Davis to get rid of his cell phone because he had a warrant for his arrest for that murder.
Elements. Prosecutors are trying to get an attorney kicked off a murder case. They say she warned a murder suspect who she was not representing to hide evidence. Today, her attorney fought back, saying that conversation was still privileged. Channel 2's Tom Jones, live now in downtown Atlanta. Tom, this issue is now...
Wow, that's crazy. Hey, that attorney is crazy if she did that. But like he said, that conversation was privileged. It's got the client attorney privilege, so she ain't gotta break that oath between her client. But she wasn't representing him, is what he said. So how this work? Did she get kicked off? I think she got arrested. They said she did.
Now delayed the trial.
Yeah, that's right, George. The murder trial for 4 defendants was on the calendar here for Monday, but now that trial is on hold until the courts can determine if attorney Nicole Fagan will be disqualified. Her attorney says she shouldn't be disqualified, and he wants the charges dismissed.
She can't practice law.
Attorney Drew Lling says his client, fellow attorney Nicole Fagan, is suffering professionally after prosecutors charged her with participating in criminal street gang activity and criminal solicitation to commit tampering with evidence. Police say she told murder suspect Keontae Davis to get rid of evidence on his phone. Prosecutors say Fagan wasn't representing Davis and had no attorney-client privilege. Lling disputes that.
She actually did have an attorney-client privilege relationship.
He didn't say how. Fagan is representing Davis's co-defendant, Quincy Pinky. Pinky, Davis, and 2 others are charged in the murder of Jaquavius Wilson last year. Prosecutors want her off the case.
It's the state's position that Ms. Fagan would be disqualified.
Lling says he plans to file a motion to have the charges dismissed. The judge says if that doesn't happen,
she can't sit next to her client on Monday morning.
Lling repeatedly called out the DA's office for prosecuting an attorney who's representing someone they are trying to convict. He called it a constitutional breach. Meanwhile, the murder victim's father sat and watched it all unfold in court. Christopher Welch said he's not discouraged after the judge said the trial will be delayed until all of this can be worked out.
Justice is delayed, but we still gonna push for justice.
And Fagan,
it done got sloppy amongst the attorneys in them man. So now his family gotta wait and see if they can get justice for their kid. And the attorneys, they trying to get this attorney off the man. It's chaos. That's chaos, man. Justice for that family, though.
Is also representing a defendant in the YSL case. The prosecutor said he couldn't say much in court about the case, Fagan's case, because the anti-corruption unit is handling it. The judge didn't say when the murder trial will start. We're live in downtown Atlanta. Tom Jones, Channel 2 Action News.
Now, shortly after that indictment was corrected on 8/15/2024, and fam, stay with me. This time, you notice only 3 defendants. Keontae Davis wasn't on this indictment after his cooperation. And also, more detail was later given to authorities. Keontae mentioned he only gave the sweatshirt to 4PF Nate before he went to the driving vehicle who did the shooting. And not to mention, apparently this drive-by shooting involved Daryl, the guy who shot Cavario in Lil Cali from self-defense a month and a half later. And now the police know that the 3 people that's in this indictment got get back for Cavario. According to the transcript, an unknown gunman inside a Dodge Durango had opened fire on a Chevrolet Tahoe occupied by 3 men as the Tahoe sat stationary at a red light in downtown Atlanta. The occupants of the Durango had fled the scene. Darrell Hurd and Javarius Wilson was shot. Wilson died as a result of a gunshot wound to his neck. Further investigation, including a cell phone record and nearby surveillance footage, revealed that multiple individuals acted in coordination beforehand. It alleged that 4PF Nate kept watch over 3 men from a nearby parked vehicle for about an hour before the shooting. They go on to say that 4PF Nate then drove to another parking lot where he met defendant Hampton driving a Durango. Defendant Pinky, who had been dropped off by defendant Davis in another car, approached the intersection with the co-defendants and other unidentified individuals, several of whom were wearing masks and gloves. 4PF Nate eventually entered the Durango along with several others and was the driver at the time of the shoot. Defendant Pinky followed the Durango in another vehicle to conceal the Durango tag and fled in tandem with the Durango after the shoot. And as mentioned by the state, not me, they believe this homicide occurred in revenge for Daryl Harrell in killing Cavario back in November of 2021. Now I know that was a laugh, fam, but can you imagine everything I had to go through just to bring you guys this under 30 minutes? We're talking about a man who, it seemed, didn't have many opportunities from the start, didn't learn from the ones he loved the most, mistakes. Instead, capitalized on what they know, added what he could learn, and came up with 40 years. Only 2 years after his mom coming home from a 20-year sentence, serving 17 years. It's a very unfortunate situation. This was the man who got get back for the demise of his friend just months later. Now, you see where he at. Let me know how you guys feel about this one in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And today, I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Yeah, man, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think about that video in the comments, man. And like always, like, share, comment, subscribe to my channel, man. We're a growing channel, come grow with us. So, with that being said, till next time, we out.